Mm.
You're in all them streams, so that sucks. That was funny because they weren't all live, and now they're all live. I was like, fuck, I fucked up.
And last but not least,
The wine.
Oh, and that's a big glass too. Thank you.
What's the name of that one again?
Malbec.
Malbec. Okay, I'm gonna check
Thank
that
you
out.
so
Yeah,
much.
they because Argentina's doing like an austerity thing.
Oh,
They
okay.
devalued their currency, so I'm sure they're and they grow all the Malbec
Yes.
out there,
Yes.
Malbec grapes, and it's like I bet you they're getting these bottles for like 50 cents a buck.
Malbec. I'm gonna check
50
that out.
Dude, if
cents?
you were,
Cause I drank the Merlot.
I would say if anyone wants to make a quick buck, import Malbecs from Argentina right now. You could,
I
you,
mean, that's so
telling
specific. I would have never thought about that.
telling you could get these you've seen them flood the scene. You'll go to any restaurant now, Malbecs, liquor stores, Malbecs. But they're great.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
listen to you because I need to start doing something else.
Oh shit, you guys are rocking.
Yeah, we're already live. You're good. It's just a live stream, so it's not like it's a podcast where you have to. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Okay, boom. Then in that case, let me just.
Oh, you're good. You were good. I wasn't tripping on you at all. He was like, "Let me leave." Okay. So, hi,
Oh, just say
OG.
cheers,
What up with it?
Oh, cheers.
and I'll let y'all do your thing.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a good day. I mean, not good day. I mean, see you in a second. My bad. Thank you. Yeah, you right. I'm gonna have that problem. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So this is obviously just a live stream, so it's gonna be more casual. It's not like a
Oh,
set
it's all good.
podcast. You know
It's
what I'm
all
saying? We're
good.
gonna reply to chat and stuff when they do come through. Um. So I do want to start by saying, when you did get brought into this podcast world, how did it impact your life, and what did it like? What was your purpose at that point? Was it still with the music, or was it just gonna continue to be now podcasting, and then all your other you have management. I mean, you do a lot of things. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Well,
what
I
became
mean, I
your purpose?
already had a movement going for like, positive things for like suicide awareness and
Mm-hmm.
prevention. So that's really what my focus was. And then along with doing music and also managing my son, Little Side, and my nephew, Dre Hill.
So, and then when you started managing them, how did that take away from like how you pursue yourself as an artist now too, as a whole? Because doesn't
Well, it
that take
don't. It
away?
don't take away. It don't take away at all. It's just all how you manage things. And with me, I still could be an artist and run a label and manage artists.
But how? Like time management wise, how are you able?
Multitasking. We all be in the studio together. We take turns recording. You
That's
know.
okay. That makes more
Yeah,
sense. Okay.
yeah. We all get in the studio, take turns recording. If we in there for 6 hours, everybody take 2 hours apiece or whatever.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um. So, I know like AD wasn't the full purpose of why you started podcasting. Obviously, you've told me that at least other people did give you an opportunity.
Well, no, nobody gave me opportunity. What it was, I always went up to No Jumper to support my nephew
AD.
AD, and I was been going up there for a couple of years, and then the owner, of the of No Jumper offered to do an interview with me. He asked me to,
Mm-hmm.
would I be willing to do an interview with him, and I did. And then after the interview, the same day the interview aired, he texted me and was like, "Hey, you ever thought about having your own show?" And at that particular time, it was like, not offhand, no. And then, maybe probably like a month went by, and we had to sit down and kind of like put some ideas together. And it was like, if you was to do a show, what would it be about? And my thing was more focused on positive.
And a lot of people took advantage of that in a sense, though, too. Like they weren't willing to actually invest into it because it probably wasn't drama related. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really comes down to is positive messages like that don't get pushed as much.
Yeah, I mean, not even positive music get pushed
Positive
the way it
message. No,
should.
I said
No
message.
positive. Yeah, yeah. I mean, no.
The
What I'm saying
message.
is, whether music or podcasting or whatever it is, it don't really, get the attention it needs. It's just something about it. Negative is controlling everything. That's where the views is. But I refuse to stop being me to step in, another arena and I did that. I did that in the streets, when I lived the street life, the gang banging days. And I could be negative, if I'm pushed to it, but that ain't my focus. My focus is uplifting, inspiring people, and educating people, especially our youth.
And what was the like pivotal moment that made you want to transition out of gang banging and actually like made you be like, oh, I'm bigger than just wanting to.
Well, it ain't I'm bigger because I still go
No,
to the
but like
neighborhood and support the
not bigger
neighborhood.
than that.
It's
I'm saying
growth. It's
no.
about growth.
Sorry, I was gonna finish because it's like I'm saying bigger than your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because all that, like even like the suicidal stuff, like I know I had to be bigger than my emotions to actually over. I wasn't saying bigger than the hood. I don't think that's always gonna be a piece of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's always gonna be like always me. You know
Well,
what
it's
I'm
more
saying?
like, to me, I look at it as more like growth. Like,
Yeah.
that's not something, I wanted to die doing. I didn't want to be 70 and still in the neighborhood. I wanted to, show growth. And as I grow, you got to lead by example. And that's what I do. I lead by example. I can't, still, even when I was in the trenches real heavy, I still led by example and always taught the younger cats to, you know, do something different, go to school. I was that cat that still used to tell the young cats, go to school, man. Like, regardless of what you see us out here doing every day, like, you ain't got to do it. But it's a part of life. It's like this is where we all grew up at. So I understood that part, but I also wanted to teach them, well, what are you gonna fall back on?
Mhm. Mhm.
Have something to fall back on.
And so I know like you do a lot more for the youth, but don't you haven't you noticed like a lot of these adults, especially older men, have a lot of suicidal tendencies because they hold all of that shit their whole life,
Yeah,
and so it
because
comes out like look at Chester Bennington. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
That's what
Chris
be happening.
Lightly, a lot of people,
It just
in
be happening.
general.
It's back to back. Even with the drug abuse, it gets to that point because I think a lot of, especially with men, and I'm not saying like women do, you know what I'm saying, but we're allowed to have our emotions. You guys are not. You guys try to kill yourself, you get called a pussy for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
In,
That's
in,
fucked
in,
up.
in reality, you're not. You're really
Ex-
not a
you're
pussy. Things
not. That's
happen.
like the
Yeah,
biggest.
yeah. Your
That's the
things. I
opposite.
mean, people laughed at me, but I don't care. Because the same people that laughed came to me one day and asked for jobs. So it's
That,
fine.
yeah.
Those. Those that laugh get the last laugh.
But don't you hate that's like the biggest miscon like okay, not what is the word of misconception? You know what I'm saying? Like misunderstood. I'm gonna you go with that. Misunderstood thing about suicide is like, oh, you're a pussy, oh, you're selfish. It's like actually I'm thinking the opposite in my head. I'm thinking I'm a less issue for the world. I'm thinking, I'm willing to take my own life. Imagine what I could do
Wh-
to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I grew up in that lifestyle. With me, I don't want to be that guy that suffer. I don't want to be the guy with the sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something like
When you get that low, you want
I
to.
don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The devil took over me and pretty much put in my mind like you need to exit. You're just taking up space. There's no purpose to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
I have no regrets in life. What I went through made me who I am today. And one thing I do teach my young people is there's nothing that can ever go on in your life to make you want to take your life for nothing in the world. I don't care how bad it gets, things get better in due time. Because that day you take your life, the very next day could have been a day something happened so mega to where your life changed for the better, but you didn't get a chance to see that because you left here.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you had those moments afterwards that made you like be like, I'm grateful I didn't do this? You know what I'm saying? Every day, pretty much.
Well, I know when I woke up in the hospital, I was still disappointed, but then I felt like there was a purpose, there was a reason I was still here because you hear stories all the time where people shoot themselves in the head and they don't make it because they didn't expect me to make it, but God had other plans for me.
Wow. And do you feel like for yourself, like it felt like God was giving me a second chance. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much like like because I given up on myself at that point, obviously, right? You know, so I feel like, and then it made me live for something like, oh, now if I really kill myself, I'm really gonna go to hell. Like I started thinking about shit like that I didn't think about before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it changed my whole perspective when I did wake up. Like you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's like that was mind altering perspective for you, or if you it still took time.
I mean, my thing was, I just felt like I really felt like I really must be a failure because I couldn't even kill myself.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
how
you
I
saying
felt.
that.
Yeah, that's technically how I really felt. But as time went by, I realized like, okay, let me figure out what my purpose is. What's the reason I'm still here? What's my calling? And music definitely was a thing that I used to make and started making, and it saved a lot of lives as well. When you got people in third world countries hitting you up, telling you how you inspire them to want to live, and they wake up every day to nothing. When you
And
get
it'd be crazy that you can literally be the purpose why someone's waking up every day, you know? And I
yes,
think a lot of people don't realize that. So it does suck when you do meet your like idols or people, because I do admit I'm a fan of a lot of people. I'm not a disgruntled fan like people want to say. I'm not any of that,
hmm
but I am a fan, and I will admit that. Like, and I support the people that I actually like fuck with, because that gives me a purpose to wake up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the streets are lonely, you know what I'm saying? And people don't realize that. Like, going to somebody's content and being able to look at that shit and be like, oh, thank you, like, for even, you guys don't know how much you guys do
I
for a lot
hear it
of
all the
people.
time. I get
But
messages all the time from
it kind
people.
of waters it down for you guys, because I like, even on my level, like, I get people that reach out to me because like I'm like very spiritually in tune, and a lot of women reach out to me for like a lot of things because they feel like I'm a comfort place, right? I think sometimes it gets watered down because it's like I'm doing all this for all these people, but it feels like I'm not doing enough, and they're only giving me thanks for my advice. Like, I feel like I need to be doing more, so then it also fucks me up in the head as well. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing about it is, don't burn yourself out trying to do for everyone, because you can't save everybody. But if you could save one person at a time, then I mean, you're definitely doing something, the right thing.
But what's saving a person? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, giving a person advice to want to get their life better is saving a person,
Mm,
because a lot of people live in this world with no hope.
that ass.
It's like,
I'm hope living with no hope.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
like they live in this world, and they like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get my life together? I just lost everything now. How do I get it back? I mean, you get it back the same way you got it.
I see, and I struggle with that because like I did have a lot of pimps. Like, I've had four, so I think a lot of them I would put so much into them, and I'm not saying every single one because there's some I only had for like a week or something. You know, I'm not gonna consider them. You
Then they
know.
got fired fast. Huh?
I leave. I don't get fired. I
No, I
leave.
said they got fired
Oh yeah,
fast.
the most I've stood with a pimp is like 3 to 4 months, because my but the thing is, in those 3 to 4 months, they get my everything. Like, and that's the thing is, like, once I was going through all that, it's like, bro, I was working 12 hours a day with you, and I got nothing out of it. I didn't get a car. I didn't get an apartment, and I know you've made like 60 bands off of me. You know what I'm saying? So, and the fact that I have nothing, like that, I think that was like my third pimp, you know, and he really like it showed me like what the fuck, like I this man. I was supposed to be his only bitch, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm giving him my all. Then I find out he has a square nurse on the side, you know what I'm saying? So that
Okay, so
puts
you
me
was
back.
his bottom,
I was his only,
yeah,
but he didn't tell me
but
like,
he was your pimp.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As you
Exactly.
was the
And I
only one
wasn't
he was
opposed to it. I
pimping.
was
Okay,
helping him. I was like, here,
okay.
take this girl, take this girl. I'm very, but he wouldn't let me talk to people. It was very weird situation when I really think about it. But he's the reason why I went out to Vegas and everything too. But at the end of the day, that's what fucked me up in the future. Like, and I had one more after him, and that fucked me up. So I'm done with pimps. But that's what kept putting me in square one. But
Mm.
don't get me wrong, they are the reasons why I would wake up at fucking 10 in the morning and work all day. You know what I'm saying? It's sad I put a lot of my investment into them and I didn't put it into God. I think that's where I fucked up with a lot of things, and I bet you felt the same way with a lot of shit. You're like, if I would put God into this versus my selfish or a
Well, Miss
person,
Price raised me up going to
I want to
church,
talk
so
about that.
God was always, what I mean, in my life for sure. Regardless, I would go do some horrible things and then pray later, because I was always taught ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, me
I
too.
go shoot up some shit and and pray
Go,
on it.
it fucks you up though at the same time because you're like, why the fuck do like,
I mean, but I
but
pray on it. God, I ask for forgiveness.
at least you're doing that though, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that don't even, they think that they just like, not even having Jesus. I think having Jesus in your heart is the only way into heaven. Personally, I'm not pushing that beliefs on anyone, But like for me, that's how I feel because it's like you have to accept him to accept all of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And but I was gonna ask about like Miss Price. Like a lot of you do speak about her a lot, and you speak about the values she's instilled in you.
Yes.
I want to know like how those values have changed your life, like for the better.
Well, for one, it's having a good heart.
Mhm.
You know, trying to look out for everybody, or people that you really got love for. You look out for.
Mhm.
You know, because my thing is, if you want to see somebody win, you're supposed to help them win. You know, if somebody's down and you got it, you help them. I done seen Miss Price help many people, like strangers. She would feed anybody off the streets. It didn't matter. That's how her heart was. And, some people would appreciate it and some people wouldn't. And she used to always say, don't worry about the ones that don't appreciate, what you do. Some people are just ungrateful. But as long as God know where your heart is, that's all that matters.
Mm.
She said, because everybody is not going to show you the same love that you show. So don't expect that. And that's one thing with me. I've shown so much love to so many people. I've always expected the same in return, but it don't always work out that way. And then I can just hear Miss Price, what I mean, I can hear that voice saying like, don't always expect people to show you the same love you show. Just do from your heart.
I think I had to learn that as a person too. It's because like and not only that, a lot of us be trying to overexert into people, and our cups only like this. You know what I'm saying? We got to get it up to here before we can exert into other people. You know what I'm saying? Overflowing. So I think it
Yes.
also like having a good heart, it does fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're over here like our heart's a good heart, right? So if you have all these fucking wounds and all this bullshit, you're down here. How are you gonna? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a problem that like people with good hearts forget. You have that time for yourself and be like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do for my life. This is how I'm gonna enjoy my life. I don't care if it's like 2 weeks off of fucking going to the beach and just turning off your
And I don't
phone
do none of that. I'm so overdue for
and a
just
break.
taking a vacation to just go sleep. I want to go somewhere where I can just, lay and look at the water and just rest, because for many, many years I've always been that person that I've done more for people than I've done for myself. I've always put people first and put myself last.
So when does the burnout happen again, and then you
It
going
it,
back to
it,
square
it it
one with the
still happens.
suicidal thoughts?
Well,
I
well,
have
well,
those
that's
moments
one
too.
thing I'm not gonna do
Just
is
go back.
have suicidal thoughts. That's like,
You don't have them at all. Like
no.
I still do till this day.
Why though?
I don't know, but it's not like my fault. Like I really have made
I
myself
mean, but
fuck.
it is your fault because it's
Yeah,
your thought.
yeah.
So it's your fault.
But I've like every time I think about it, I retrain my thought and think like I pray to God or talk to God. You know what I'm saying? I still
I
feel
mean,
like
but
it's like the
what's going on in your life so bad to make you have flashbacks?
it's just I'm 24-year-old woman living in a world where I got fucked over so bad that I am left alone in cities. I am doing this all by myself, trying to figure this shit out, and I have everyone against me in the whole world. And it's like the only person I have is God, right? So that's
Look at all the people that was against God,
I know, and that's what keeps me
the people
going.
that was against Jesus. Look at
But
all those people.
that's what it is. And it's not like I want to kill. I don't want to kill myself because I feel like it's more fucked up that I don't want to kill myself because I know there's people that
But
are
you
way.
shouldn't even think about it.
But no,
It shouldn't cross your
it's not
mind.
my like. I wouldn't do it. I could say that wholeheartedly. I won't ever kill myself again.
So you
But
should
it's still
like,
the voice in the back of my head that's like, oh, your life would be so much easier if you did this, and it's like, nah.
yeah, stop listening to that voice.
I don't listen to it. I haven't had a
That
suicidal
voice
attempt
is
in years. You know what
that
I'm
that's
saying?
not an intelligent voice
No, it's not.
that you're hearing.
But see, I can't go check myself into a mental institution.
You don't have to.
I would love to though, because
Why?
it's like a mental. I need a mental vacation. Like my brain's overloaded. I think it's just like I'm starting to unpack a lot of trauma that I had.
Maybe you need some you time. Instead
No,
of
and
going to
that's
a mental into a
you're
mental
right.
hospital, maybe you just need to get away and be like, you know what, I'm gonna put some money up that's gonna just last me for a little while, and I'm just gonna vacation for a month just by
But
myself.
look what you're saying. You need to do the same thing for yourself.
I
You know
mean,
what
I
I'm
do.
saying? But you said you need a
But
vacation.
I mean, eventually I will
It's
do
hard
that. You
though,
know, I will do that.
but
But
it's hard to make time.
well, it's hard to make time, and I have so many people that depend on me, that
That's
look to
true.
me, that
That's true.
call on me, and I be feeling like if I'm gone and something happened bad, that I may have a guilty conscience behind it, but I'm definitely looking to to leave and go somewhere for about like at least 5 6 days, and I really don't even want to do nothing but just sleep, be unbothered and
That's
just
sad when all you're wanting is sleep, though.
that,
Isn't that?
that
That's where I'm at
that's
too
all I want to
right now.
do is just sleep and relax and wake up and eat and like I said, somewhere where I can watch the water from my room, something like that. Yeah, maybe Cabo or something.
Cabo. I've been wanting to go to Bali. You know how cheap Bali is?
Cheap.
Bali is so
Yes.
fucking cheap and it's so beautiful. I'm like, what? And man, I could break so much men there. No, I'm kidding. The tricks there are just paying them.
See, look.
That's where my mind goes.
See, you're
Uh,
not gonna vacate. You going to work.
that's my problem. I realize that as a person, that's why I'm trying to like leave the game fully and get like a food truck and shit going. I have like so much plans. I don't even want to say it because people like to ruin your plans. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Um,
sometimes it's not good to share your plans
that's when yeah,
until after it happens.
because you don't want to share it before it happens and it not happen.
I mean, sometimes that's the way the universe works. Sometimes
Hmm.
sometimes you block yourself by putting it out there.
Hmm.
There's a saying that say speak it into existence, for sure, but then also sometime when you speak it into existence, sometimes you kind of block it from happening because you speak too soon.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
better to speak after and be like, okay, I just did this or I just got that. Can't really let everyone, what I mean, into your plans.
Hmm.
That's what I learned.
But I think like that's why I don't talk to nobody about anything anymore. It's because it's like not even speaking into existence because you can speak it into existence by yourself. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of people have that evil eye on you, are ready to like prey on that downfall. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
sure people pray. Just like, I went through the, a life experience, of I could have not been sitting here. And I'm sure it's a lot of people that was hoping that, what I mean, I was finna exit, and because I seen a lot of people change that I really thought was really in my corner. And when I seen the difference in them switch up, it made me look at life different. I, I look at them as the same, but it made me look at myself and my life different, how to move way different. Because I kind of start looking at people that's supposed to be close to me as envies. That they really take, okay, I get it now. You've been envying me for a while, but you're good at hiding it.
It's I had like I said, like I've told you before, it's because they are jealous of your light. That's really like the
But what's so spectacular
but
about my
because
life?
God chooses certain motherfuckers, right? Sorry, God chooses people.
Yeah, because that's
I
using
should.
God
I know.
name in vain.
I wasn't meaning to.
Yeah.
Sorry, God. But He chooses certain people that He's like, I'm gonna give you this anointing, this good heart, because I know you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us fall to suicide is because we have that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we do lose some good ones. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's why it's like, you have that light, and other people can't have that. You could walk in a room and you own that room,
But I share the light.
but
I put it in the center so
you could
everybody
share
shine.
it. You could share it all you want, but you can't. You can't copy God's anointing.
No, you can't.
You can't. So God might take care of these other people, but they're not willing to share the message like you.
Oh no, they don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of people won't. Just like a lot of people, look at you as competition, but
Hmm.
in your face swear you family.
It's your family, your relationships, your friends. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They think that, oh, I have to take you down because you're actually gonna get somewhere in life. You know what I'm saying?
They look at everything as a race, and if they could take you out the race, then you one less person to compete with.
Yeah. Hmm. And that's fair enough to say that like people have that logic because life is a race, but it's not cool to do it with like evil intentions. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, don't get me wrong, you should be in competition, but like with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I'm
no.
not in competition with anyone.
Hmm.
I wish nothing but the best for everyone, but I learned some people will wish the best for you, but then hate when you have it.
But no, they'll hate when you have it, but then they'll come ask you for it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that's funny.
It's backwards. It is backwards. I ain't
It's
gonna lie.
life.
Um, so how was it to be banging on wax?
Banging on wax?
Yeah, how was it to be on there?
What you mean?
Like if it made it hot for like this.
I never
Sorry,
banged
this
on
was a
wax.
question. No, no, no. This is like a question of like one of the viewers asked me to ask you. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. How ask him how it was to be banging on on banging on wax, and if that made the streets hot for him, or if it got more dangerous after that. I don't know what that means. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
okay,
lie.
okay.
So.
Well, that means like representing where you from in your music. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, it really didn't make a difference. To me, like I was really in the street, so me saying it on music was no difference than me saying it in person because people knew who I was. So there was really no difference.
Mm.
Like, okay, that's such and such from over there. Oh, this nigga got an album out now. It's no
So it wasn't
different.
it
Yeah,
wasn't nothing special.
yeah, no,
But it didn't do any impact at all to you. It didn't affect you
no.
at all.
I mean, danger was danger. Whether it was in music or off music.
Okay. I thought that was a good question when I read it. I'm
No, it
not gonna lie.
was.
Okay, okay.
No, when
I
he
was
said
like,
banging on wax, I thought he meant like
hold on.
the
I didn't know what that
music,
meant.
the albums. Because they used to put at my godfather Leon Haywood's studio. They used to record the albums that was called Banging on
Mm,
Wax.
that's what it was then. Okay, that makes
That's
sense.
probably what I never was on those albums.
So okay, so then it was what you were saying. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad. My bad. I'm confused. My bad.
it's all good.
So like, and I was gonna speak like, what's your take on like the Kendrick and Drake like whole beef? Because I feel like it really revamped rap again because everyone was saying rap was dead.
Well, the music game was always built on beef. There's always been beef in the music game from the '80s to the '90s, and not just
Facts.
not just rap, R&B. You know,
You know, one of the biggest quotes that affected me though was like, "We liked the Biggie and Tupac beef before there wasn't no Biggie and Tupac." You know what I'm saying? And that's what people I think need to realize. Is like even with the Drake and like Kendrick beef, you know what I'm saying? Like you better appreciate this now because you're hating on these legends. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're picking a side, you know what I'm saying? You should be banging both. You know what I'm saying?
well, I don't kind of people personal issues. I don't get involved with. You know,
So you could
but
separate
but the
music from
thing
the
is,
person.
well, yeah, definitely. But one thing though, Kendrick from my city. He from the other side, but
Hmm.
he from my city. He from Compton. He from the hub. So
Yeah.
you got to always roll with the city. That's
No, and I understand,
automatic.
but that's what I feel like a lot of people, and I'm not knocking them for that. But like Drake had it, I feel like in the first half, and nobody wanted to give it to him, and then Kendrick destroyed Drake credibility and everything. I think that's what changed it. Is like he was like, oh, you don't do this, you don't do this, you a pedophile, you don't write your own music. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what really affected that. And I think like even with the pedophile shit, like that's what I just can't like I won't listen to R. Kelly anymore. I won't listen to any R. Kelly songs. Like it's like once it becomes like a pedo situation, I can't like I can separate a lot of things, but once I know like a pedophile made this song, I'm like, oh, like that makes me feel a certain way because you don't know who they were making about a kid. You know what I'm saying? It kind of changes your perspective on shit. You know?
I mean, but the parents used to let them be at the studio.
I understand that. I'm not saying the parents aren't wrong, but R. Kelly's still
My
wrong.
daughter ain't finna be at the studio with nobody.
I agree. I agree. But don't you still R.
My
Kelly's
daughter
still
ain't finna
wrong?
be at the studio with nobody.
But R. Kelly's still wrong.
I mean, wrong is wrong for sure. Right
Mm.
is right. But
Mm.
my thing is, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, so I don't speak on other
I think
people.
that you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what transpired. I wasn't there.
That's fair.
I my Miss Price always told me, if you mind your business, you live longer. You know,
That's
I'm
facts.
a leader, not a follower.
No,
If I see a group of people saying something bad about this person, it has nothing to do with me.
you could separate the person from the
Yeah,
rumors.
It has nothing to. I ain't got to associate with the person, but I ain't got to associate what's being discussed.
Mm-hmm.
It's none of my business.
No, that makes
I
sense.
stay on this side of the
You're
bullshit.
Switzerland and all of this
Yeah,
shit.
I
Yeah.
stay on this side of the bullshit.
So like, with you managing like everyone, right? And I did speak about this with you earlier, um, and exerting like also your other energy into these other people. Say like your glass is pretty full. I know you said at your live show you were taking a break from music, right?
And I did,
But
and then here I came back.
and I told you you should.
But a lot of fans
We
from
wanted
overseas,
that.
but see, a lot of my fans from overseas, they be the ones that they be on me when anytime I say I'm leaving music alone, here come the messages. It get flooded, and then I guess it's just one of those things to where I just got to keep giving the people what they want because it's not about me. It's about the people that help me become who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let them down.
And when did you feel like you really found yourself, or do you feel like you ever really did, and you're learning every day?
Well, I mean, there's always room for growth,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I found myself a long time ago.
What made you find yourself though? Was it like the attempt? Because that's what helped me.
Well, I mean, before the attempt, I knew who I was, but I was more stuck on how I was living. Like I said, I don't knock nobody for what they do, but I was homeless. I done lived in rain. I done slept in garages. I done slept on front porches, and I just can't be that guy with the sign.
Yeah.
And I know it's a lot of people would love to see me in that situation. Just like when I was homeless, I was helping people that had a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I was homeless, I was still having money. It just life wasn't adding up, but I was still helping people
I think that's when you're
that
the
went
most.
home and had a roof over their head.
I think that's when we're the most homeless. That at that point, you know what I'm saying? Because that's when you finally learn, like, oh, like, cause I've slept in cars and stuff too. Don't get me wrong, and I was still giving people rides and on my last little bit of gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's quite a few of the homies that that looked out, that was there. I mean, you sleep here, you stay here, you
But you
pellet
still
a
sleep in your
post.
car some days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many times, but I'm talking about it's been times I didn't have a car because I would sell my car to get
Yeah.
money. I'd be so low, I'd be like, you know what, fuck this car, I'll figure it out. That's one thing about me. If I put my mind to it, I'm gonna figure it out.
See, and that's what people are like with my whole situation, like I do stay in hotels right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't have an apartment, I don't have a place, I can't run back to mom, dad. Like my mom and dad hate me because of their drug abuse, you know what I'm saying? And then all my other family's just not, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And there is one person that like does look out for me like a father, and he's offered me to stay at his place, but at the end of the day, it becomes a situation where I don't like putting myself I don't like being a burden to people. So at the
I
end.
used to feel that same way, but to some people, you're not a burden because if they love you, see the house I grew up in, Miss Price, adopted me,
Mhm.
but I brought so much drama to that house, and Miss Price, she had got real sick,
Mhm.
and I mean it'd been times where the police kept raiding the house, or the house got shot up in different shootouts, and they were scared because it was me that was bringing the drama to the house, so I was asked to leave. I used to
Mm.
be mad, when it first happened because that's all I knew as a family. That's who I was, my flesh and blood to me. But as I got older, I realized that they done nothing wrong. It was me. But I was so caught up in the lifestyle to where it's like I had no remorse. I didn't care about nothing.
Yeah.
I was really caught up in that lifestyle, like for real.
Yeah.
People was trying to remove me from this world, and I was trying to remove them.
And like that's what I'm saying. So when you found your purpose, how did that? Because now you're not trying
Well,
to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying?
no, not. I'm
Not
like,
anymore. Hey, you know, you've had your moments. We have our moments.
I'm not at all. But my thing is still that button there that could be pushed
The
that,
determining button.
yeah, that can, bring out the reaper,
But that's what's scary though, is
which
that
I don't want.
because
I fear the reaper that's inside of me, because when it comes out, I'll do the most devious things, because I get the feeling like the old me, and I would do things that I don't even think twice about.
but I think that's why God be watching too, is because it's like he's like,
Yeah, he
bro,
definitely be
that's gonna
watching.
be the day that you end up on life
Yeah,
on
and,
death
and a
row.
couple of times it almost happened, and I prayed on it. But my thing is, I try to stay positive, but at the same time, like, me is still in me, and I try to keep it buried, that old me buried and tucked away. But sometimes people see you being so humble, because sometimes I feel like a school, because I've given so many passes.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's and then sometimes I be sitting by myself, and that's when I really think about all the passes I've gave over the years. And sometimes I be like, wow, person did XYZ. The old me, I would have, made they skull show white meat,
Mm.
you know. But then I think about it like, you know what, it's not worth it, because I know the things I'ma do, they don't give freedom for. They definitely lock you up for.
And then at the end of the day, who does that benefit?
It don't benefit me, you know.
And that's what's fucked up. Is like,
It
okay,
okay. It don't benefit me, but at the same time, it do benefit me. On this side, it don't. On this side, it do, because then it sends a message to everyone else, like, I told you.
see, but that's why I'm like, I'm trying to get to suing people, because you have to play white people games with these people. You know what I'm saying? Because they will take it to the extremes. They'll even pull up on you. They'll even do all that extra shit.
Well,
And
I
at the
don't
end of,
really want to sue nobody, because then you gotta go and press
and
charges,
you have to talk with the
and
cops.
yeah, I don't want to do
Exactly.
none of
That's
that.
why I'm like,
I
but I'm
don't.
so
Yeah, I
that's
don't
why
want
I'm,
to do that.
and I don't like talking to the cops. But
No,
it's like
I
at
don't want to do
some
that.
point, what do you do with these people? Like I'm at a wit's end with like some people that just like keep. I hate cop. I'm telling you, and I'm not saying defund the police. Okay, I'm saying reform them. But like at the end of the day, I hate cops more than anybody on this earth. And I hate to say that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do I do to stop people? Like, bro, just leave me like, stop dragging my name. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a thing where it's like, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, my music's my thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, but it's like, let's say I fucking channel into my music, people take it personal, then they sue me, and it's like, oh my god. So that's what becomes a problem. Once people start trying to pull that sue card, I'm like, okay, like okay, I'll see you in court, but guess what? You gonna lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I don't know. All that shit becomes a problem. That's why it's like nowadays it sucks, because even the most like Kaisa not suing right now a girl because she posted and said all this shit that he paid for pussy and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's because how do you stop these people?
You
Because you
can't.
could go
It's
react
a
the way
part
that
of
you
life.
do, but like react the way you've done, react the way I've done, and then end up in fucking jail for the rest of our fucking life because God protected us at that very moment. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's why it'd be a problem. It's like, what do you do? That's
Things
and
happen for a reason.
yeah, no, for sure.
For
That's what
real.
I'm saying though. But that's what. So what do you do? That's what like I have the biggest question in life. What the fuck do you do? Do you
Keep
just ignore
keep
it?
keep living. Yeah. Ignore it. Keep living. Cause my thing is, talk is cheap. You can say anything you want about me, but when you physically put your hands on
That's
me,
a different.
then
Mm,
I got all rights to show you
I just.
you made the biggest mistake in your life.
But I hate when like. There's been times where let's say someone put their hand on me or something like that, and I sit back and I'm like,
But you in that lifestyle.
it's not okay though. It doesn't make it okay. I've never thought it makes it okay.
No, not it.
No,
Your pimp.
nope. I've only had one hit me my whole time. Because I bet if any of the if any of them would have slapped me more than once, I promise you they gonna end up in literally jail that night or something like that. Not like me
Well, why
calling
are
them.
they your pimp then?
because I don't call cops, but I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You know what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying? I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, and you're gonna start screaming. I'm not going to jail. You hit a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay quiet. I sit back. I've been in so many situations with a pimp where I've sit back and I've never snitched on any pimp. I've had four, and they can honestly say, you know, I've been in fucked up situations with some of them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You're gonna start screaming, and I that flashes. And I know it sounds crazy, but it flashed like I can fight. And I know people don't say that, but I don't care if like somebody it actually gets physical. I can't say I'm gonna start stomping your face into the fucking concrete. I'm gonna do a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so maybe not just jail. You might end
Then
up in
you're
the
gonna be
hospital.
pimpless.
That's why I'm pimpless. That is why. But it is 8 o'clock. If you do want to wrap up, if you're done.
It still got a few minutes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Um, but yeah, that's why I am pimpless. I'm not gonna lie. But that's what I'm saying. I've had one hit on me,
Hmm.
and I didn't. I just started crying because it was frustration. If I if I beat the fuck out of you right now, we're either both gonna end up in jail tonight or both end up dead. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a
Did
thing.
you just threaten me?
No, what, you
Oh.
didn't hit me. He's like, "What? Am I gonna hit you one time?" No, I'm kidding.
I'm
No, no,
not your
no.
pimp. Shit.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to you.
Okay.
My bad.
Well, you said you.
But I'm saying, like that's why when that person hit me that one time,
Yeah.
that's how I felt about it. You know what I'm saying? It became one of those things where it was like, okay, bro, if you hit me, we gonna end up in a fucked up situation. Don't you believe? You know what I'm saying? So at least I have that second sense to be like, okay, bro, I don't want either of us to want to go to jail. I don't either want either one of us to end up in a hospital tonight or dead. God forbid. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta watch who you be around.
But I suck at picking men, and I think that's my biggest problem. I suck, and I can truly admit that. Get Mr. Perfect, and it's not Mr. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not looking for Mr. Perfect. I love flaws. You know what I'm saying? I think I can help a lot of men with flaws.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
nobody's
saying?
perfect.
Exactly. But like I get what I think is Mr. Perfect because it'd be like a narcissist or something like that that shows they're perfect, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a dream I get sold and then like 3 months later I'm like, what the fuck? Have you ever had any of that like relationship wise where like you had a girl that was a narcissist and it made you like really change your perspective on relationships?
Mm-mm.
Or was there any girlfriend that made you change your perspective on relationships?
Mm-mm. No, because
No?
I always,
You
being
chose good ones the whole time? You never had any toxic relationship?
no.
What?
Uh-uh. No.
That's crazy. I've never heard someone say they've never had a toxic relationship. Like none were. Well, why aren't you with any of them then?
I mean, we separated.
That's
That's why.
just.
But it's not toxic.
But why'd
It
you get
wasn't
separated? It's
toxic.
just falling out of love.
Well, yeah, things like that happen.
Yeah.
It really does. Some people grow apart,
No, that's true. Um,
literally.
that's fucked up though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, you can really be in love with somebody, and then it's like, I don't even like care about you anymore.
I mean, when the fire goes out,
But what makes a fire
sometimes you
go
can't
out?
relight it, when the wind is blowing hard.
What makes a fire go out for you?
What things change, communication. Sometimes when communication is not the same as it was in the beginning, because the average relationship starts off good because y'all doing a lot of things, you're going out, it's more like an impressive thing. But as many years go by as being with somebody, then it just kind of just it dies down. It's like I said, sometimes the flame burns out.
I've seen like people fall out of love with each other but stay married because that piece of paper. And I think that's the most scariest thing is that piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? I can never get married. I do want to get married one day, but under God, without with like I want a ceremony. I don't want no certificate. The pastor and me and God and everyone in this room knows that we're married. You know what I'm saying? I don't need this piece of paper that's
But
gonna
you got
draw.
to sign the paper to make
Um,
it legitimate.
then guess what? It is what it is. I don't need
Unless
your
y'all be
taxes.
together for over 10 years and then it's 7 years and then it's like common law.
I think it's 5 years.
Five?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It used to be like
And I'm
7.
okay with that. If that person's willing to, we don't even know each other fully in 5 years. That, to be honest, you know a person to the like a deep extent.
Well, I
like
feel like
90
nobody
days.
never really
Knows that person.
knows no one.
Look at Ted Bundy.
I don't care how many years you be together.
Mhm.
Like, it just, I feel like nobody ever really 1,000,000% know each other.
But that's my point too.
And
is
women,
like,
and women are more sneakier than men.
WM Rider too. Because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna type that right now. But that's what I'm saying too. Is like
right?
you can be with that
Women are
exactly.
more sneakier than men, right?
Oh,
Y'all are slick.
you know what though? You know what about
Y'all are
men? We might
slick.
be slick, but you guys get us to be slick.
No, y'all just
What?
born slick. That shit is
Because
just
our intuition.
it's just natural. Y'all are just naturally that way.
I've had a guy I've been with for 3 months. Like I said, was sleeping next to this man every day for 3 months, and he still had a square girl nurse on the side.
But
Like this
that's
man
only
was,
90. But that's only 90 days. That ain't
but that's
even.
what. But you, that's sneaky. For 90 days, you.
But
Well, it was like 4 months.
okay. But look. But
Yeah, I know
but your
that.
lifestyle. You know what I mean?
But that's just why have 10 hoes. I've lived in a thing with 7 bitches. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I love that shit. Cause don't get me wrong, I got treated so good because he was like, come in early, do this. Cause I was like more of the mom. Like I was trying to be the bottom, you know. So I was like the mom at the time. I would say, I took care of all the
Maybe
girls and
he
stuff.
had the square girl to help build the business.
Oh fuck that shit. But just be on. These men don't know how to be honest. If she's don't have me out on the track. Let me work the casinos and internet only. If you're gonna have square bitches that are still paying, they better still pay you. Cause you hear nowadays these motherfuckers are just trying to count live streams as being paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. You're not. A girl making you money off a live stream is not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? A square handing you a nurse check that's only like fucking 1,000 a week is not getting paid. You're getting 1,000 a day from me, and you're getting 1,000 a week from this bitch. And I get you're with me every day. That's that. I get that.
Was you happy?
It would
That's
with
a yes. That's a yes or no um, question.
but with the
Not a
square nurse one.
a story.
No, but with the square nurse one.
No, were you happy in the
But
situation
which
you
with
were
one? The
in
square nurse. Yeah,
with the guy, the
that
gentleman
had
that
the
you was
one.
with?
Um,
Were you happy? Yes or no? Yes or no?
no.
You really got to think about it.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
want to say yes, but I want to say no. So
All right.
I'm
So
gonna
was you
I'm gonna go
jealous of
no.
the square girl?
I didn't know about her
Be
till the
honest with.
end.
Okay, but did you get jealous of her when you found out about her?
No, I let them move on.
Yeah.
They have a baby and stuff now. I didn't
Oh,
even
okay.
reach out to her or nothing.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't reach out to bitches. I don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna start a whole problem. I'm not a snitch. Like that's what I'm saying. I've had hands put on me and everything. I don't snitch on nobody. That's why I'm scared of my anger is because if I ever see that bitch or him in person and he's came up to me three
But how
different.
long it's been?
It's been two
Okay.
years.
And you
Two
still
years.
gonna do something to her?
Not something to her. I don't like. I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't. It's just more like I would hate them. I would talk shit in person. But I say that. But he's came up to me twice, and I've got up and walked away from him. It's one of those things. There's one time where I did slip up when I was with another pimp, and I talked to him. I'm not gonna lie, but it was nothing. It was cordial, you know.
You talked to him when you were supposed to have your head down and not look up.
Yeah. And then it's funny when I don't have a pimp, I walked away from him twice. But I think I needed to say like that last little piece, like fuck you. I was like, because the person I was with was kind of like a flex on him in a way. It's like I'm with this person, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't trying to get back with him at all. But it is what it is. This
Oh
motherfucker
shit!
had a square. You know what I'm saying? I'm allowed to be. Sorry, my phone's getting blown the fuck up. But okay. I got through all these questions. Um, with your childhood, having Miss Price around, like, and I know you talk about a lot of your character and your values from her. When did you get when were you adopted?
I was 18 months when I was
18 months.
adopted. Yeah, actually, I probably was like two because I was abandoned when I was 18 months
Oh
and
wow.
placed in a foster home, and then it's like a process.
Hmm.
And Miss Price, she was older, and it's crazy too because all these years I never knew Miss Price. Them probably was like 40 at the
Hmm.
time when they adopted me, and the only reason they was able to adopt me because of Miss Price's son, BB. He had to be the one that signed the papers that said if something happened to them, he would take care of me. I never knew that. I just found this out
Mm.
2 months ago after all these years. I never
Holy
knew.
shit.
Yeah, my Miss Price's grandson, Tweety, which is my nephew, he the one told me. He was like, "Yo, you ain't never knew this, but because my sisters, they didn't do it. They wouldn't sign it because they didn't want to be
Oh
responsible
wow.
for me. But Miss Price's son BB, who was my brother, adopted brother, he ended up signing the papers saying if anything happened to them, he would be full responsible for me and take care of me. And I never knew that all these years. I just found out 2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that change? I mean, that was just 2 months ago. So how do you feel? Like, did that change like anything, like emotionally or mentally for you?
No,
No,
I just was like, okay, wow.
not even for the person that did
And,
it.
like there was a situation that happened with the house, and
That's crazy though.
um, my name is on the deed of the house. Miss Price always told me if something ever happened to me, you'll always have a place to live.
Wow.
And something had happened with one of her other sons. Took a loan out on the house, and the bank took the house, but we was able to save the house.
Mm.
I helped save the house. But Miss Price's son BB, he took a check from the the bank. They kind of like bought him out, and it's
Mm.
crazy because I never forgave him for that. And then there was a time I was homeless, and I went to his house and I asked him for money to. I needed money at the time because I was homeless, and he didn't give me shit. And as he got older, his lady girlfriend that he was with, she ended up dying. And when she died, her son put him out, and he had to come back to the same house that he took a check from, and this house would have been lost if I hadn't stepped up. But I never knew my name was on the deed of the house until all of this happened, and they said, "Well, we can't do nothing until we speak with XYZ." And I was homeless. I could have for surely used $40,000 at the time, but for the love for Miss Price, I said, "Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take that money,
Wow.
for nothing in the
And he could
world."
have at least
So
broke you off 20 though. If even if he was gonna be like selfish like
I
that,
mean, but
you
like,
wouldn't have
come on,
wanted to take it. Yeah.
I'm your brother, but so.
But the fact that you couldn't even go
But
ask
after
him for money is
finding out,
crazy.
you know, that he was the reason I was able to be adopted, he's still alive too. I kind of like
Wow.
was like, you know what? I look at him different now. Now I'm not pissed off at you because for many years it was like fuck you, and then even after the fact of him, accepting this money, like how y'all gonna just let this house go to waste? So I felt some kind of way, but now after finding that out, I was just like, you know what? It's cool.
I think what's more sad about the situation is that the fact that you went to try to go get money from him and he literally was
And
like,
man, I'm supposed to be your little brother.
yeah, yeah.
And now imagine, and Miss Price she was still alive, but she was real sick because she had stomach cancer. That's what she died from.
Mm.
So it's like you signed the paper to say if something happened, Mr. Price had already died. You signed a paper to say if something happened to them, you would be responsible for me. And I was in a situation, and you didn't come through.
Wow.
But thank you for signing the paper, though. Shout out.
Honestly, like that is fucked up though in the end because it's like, okay, not only did I lose the person that was taking care of me, this is what I also need, and the fact that I tried to do that for you is just like I don't know. And I've been through that like even with my mom too, but like she kept a car for me from that my grandpa left for me too. So I get how it makes you feel because it's like, bro, I could have had this okay start, and you went and just took it away from me because I could have been in a better situation, you know?
Well, my thing is everybody, he took his part of the money. My sister, they didn't take their part of the money, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. So that's how we was able to save the house. But my thing that I say is all the shit I've been through just made me have elephant skin.
Mm.
That's how I feel. It shit just made me just beyond tough. I got fucking elephant skin. So
But at some point, don't you get like tired too?
of course, I get tired. Mother's Day just passed,
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
that bothers me. Miss Price, that was my heart. Her birthday is June the 10th. It's coming up, so that's another one of them days that I'd be
Mm.
wanting to be
Alone.
unbothered. Don't want to talk to nobody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Me and Mother's Day don't get along. But like, and I wish I could be like you, like with how loving you are with your mom. But even like your biological parents, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever want a
Well, they
relationship.
dead,
Oh, but
and
did
I
you ever want a relationship with them before that?
no, I met them, but I didn't want
Mm.
a relationship with them. It was like, what is there to rekindle? Like y'all left a motherfucker for dead, so you know. And I talk about that in my music. And my older
No,
brother
I respect it.
Lavertis, we don't get along because I talk about my real life in my music, and he said I shouldn't say that. But I'm like, it did happen, right? You got took too, right? But she came back and got you. Yeah, it happened. Okay, so what the fuck are you
Damn.
talking about, weirdo?
And
He
I think
even
that's what's fucked up is it doesn't give him any right to say anything.
no, and I used to always try to go see my little brother, Willie, but Lavertis finally got in his head. He used to always try to get in his head and tell him like, "Oh, he talk about our mom. That ain't your brother and shit like that." But me and my little brother, we was real cool, real close, real tight. But as he got older, you know, he started acting fucking weird. You know, so I just like, you know what, fuck you too.
Damn.
But my brother Frankie, we good, we solid.
Um, is that all the siblings that you have?
Then I got a younger sister too, Lynette.
And you
But
don't
I haven't seen her. I don't see her. You know, I've
have
seen
you
her
tried reaching out to her?
when she was younger. You know, I don't know. And then you know, Sakeem, my cousin, like you know, few family members that's flesh and blood to me. You know, I still associate with. You know, my auntie. Few people. That's really it. But I don't know. When I used to just go around, it's just like I felt like an outsider.
Mm.
I just didn't feel right, you know,
Mhm.
because it's
Mhm.
like you didn't grow up around them. You know, I met him when I first met him. I was 13. When I first met my real father, I was 22,
Mm.
and you know that nigga was like, "Oh man, pull your pants up," like that nigga. I don't even know you. I'm here to see Lynette, you know, because I
Mhm.
found that I had a little sister, and
Mhm.
like one of my aunties,
I think
she
that's so
stayed in Compton.
disrespectful though. Is tell someone to pull their pants up and
But
you
you
just
don't
say,
even
"Sorry,
know
my
me.
bad." Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you don't even fucking know me. And, you know, I got an auntie named Kat,
Mhm.
and, you know, I found out where she lived. That's how I found out where my father was and my sister Lynette. And I used to go to her house and knock on her door and shit, and she would never open a motherfucker. And you could
Mm.
see somebody was there until eventually one day, you know, I'm like, man, I'm your nephew, like I'm Norma Jean's son, and Frank son, and then one day she finally opened the door and talked to me, and then told me where they were, and I went over there, you know, to go see them.
Mm.
Yeah,
And did what did that like change your perspective on everything that day? Like actually talking to some actual, you know what I'm
I mean, well,
saying?
my thing was like,
Because I kind
I
of like
was
when I.
abandoned due to y'all being drug addicts.
Mhm.
Here I am, 22, and you still a fucking drug addict.
Yeah,
Like, what's the point? There's no
that
reason.
fucks.
I'm
That's
only
fucked
over
up.
here to try to see Lynette, my little sister, and I would go over there um, to try to see my little brother, but didn't work out. And my brother Frankie, you know, he was in the feds. He was doing time, but I always stayed in
Mm.
touch with him, and we still stay in touch with each other right now to this day.
Mm.
I'm a year older than him too.
Mm. Damn, that's beautiful. At least you still have some people that you still connect with, but
Well, I built family over the years. That's why I
that's
got
what I
so
was about
many
to say. Yeah,
nieces and nephews and bros and
I was about to say your family. Like I was about to say, there's some blood that you still connect with, but you've created more family.
in the streets,
Mhm.
just growing up
Mhm.
straight out.
And do you ever see yourself like not like tapping in with the streets like that, but like doing like some. I know you do a lot of give back to the community, but I'm saying like maybe like a food little like you know what I'm saying giveaway with like some parties and shit with like the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
no,
I would be down to
we
help.
no, we do that for sure, for sure. But what I'm working on,
Is the suicide
um,
right now?
is yeah, it well, um, me and my nephew Dre Hill, we set up a foundation, which is Help
Mm.
Someone Foundation Inc.
Wow.
And website is helpsomeonefoundation.org, where people can actually go to the website, donate to the website. Um, in process of working on raising money to set up youth centers.
Wow, that's actually really
Safe
cool.
place. That's what I call it.
Hmm.
Safe place.
So what are you like? Are you gonna do besides like the website? Are you planning on doing anything else with the organization with it? Like
Well,
actually
yeah,
going?
let's set up organizations like Safe Place where people
Oh,
can
you're saying
actually
like
come to.
actual like
Yeah,
buildings?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay, cause
yeah.
see, like I used to go to these places that like they're called crisis centers.
Hmm.
They don't give a fuck about you.
No, no. See, I give a fuck.
That's what I was about to say.
So I'm
That's
trying
why
to
it
set
was
up
like
some
the
shit where we
best.
can do stuff for
That's.
the youth, take them to
Mhm.
baseball games and really show them things in life because there's a lot of parents that don't have the money to do that or the time to do that. But then we have these centers that they can bring them to where they're safe and they're in good hands and they're protected and they can see different
And you're
things.
not just trying to lock them up in the facilities. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like that's what I
no
think. That's what a
sports
lot of those do.
like being able to donate
Actually do
money
stuff.
to teams that when their parents can't afford to pay for their kids to play basketball, football, or baseball, then we got a actual center that can donate
Because
to
that's what
that.
keeps a lot of the kids out of the street is actually having something to do. A lot of them don't have something to do, so they go to the
Yes,
streets. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
and not only that, the money. You know what I'm saying? So if you have somewhere to come eat, you have somewhere to come be, then yeah, that's gonna like it's not like the Boys and Girls
Help
Club and all
someone.
that shit don't really. You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
it's about. Help someone.
At least you're at least somebody like you is doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're not just an organization money hungry. You know what I'm saying? You're
Mm-mm.
starting from square one with your own like idea of what it could be. You
Well,
know what
see,
I'm
one
saying?
thing a lot of people don't know is with a foundation,
Demons in the chat. Sorry
when
about that.
you on the board of a foundation, I can't pay myself from the foundation because I'm the owner. Neff is the treasurer, and then
Mhm.
we have Neff is the secretary. Vanya's the treasurer. We can't pay ourselves from the foundation.
Mhm.
That's illegal.
Mhm.
But we can hire volunteers and pay them
Mhm.
to work at the centers
Mhm.
and to work with us with the youth. We
Mhm.
still have to, work and grind and do things, but money from the organization, you're not supposed to take from that and pay yourself from it when you're on the board.
No facts. And I've always like people thought like I was trying to like because I've always said when I get enough money too, like one of my plans is to like open up. I've never been a foster kid, but I wish I would have. You know what I'm saying? In a better situation. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the situation I'm talking about. For kids that are foster kids, put them in a group home, have one mom. You know what I'm saying? And have those kids go to work and all the money that they get from fostering, you know what I'm saying, goes to them, and all the money they get to work goes to them. Obviously, we'll pay the house mom and the bills, but I don't need a dollar of that out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to do a bunch of that because if there was a kid like me that could have went to a foster home like that, I can't say I wouldn't have been better in life. And not only that, like in a lot of situations, and I'm not saying I would have been put in foster home. I kept quiet from CPS. You know what I mean? Yeah, CPS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I think that would like even like you probably even feel that like you know what I'm saying like not you were raised, you were very fortunate, but
Yes,
there's
I
people that
really
you
was. I was placed in the right home.
but go don't be wrong, imagine if you weren't, you know what I'm saying.
True.
I think I got that scratch. Yeah, that dog scratched me earlier, but it's okay. Okay, are you done? Are you
They
oh they
knocking.
knocked. Oh, you could come in. Sorry, I didn't even hear the knock. My bad. Yeah, we're good. We're done. Yeah, can you hit end stream?
Of course.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye, have a good night. I didn't even hear the knock. My bad. You told me.